Welcome to Copper Freedom Sports. My name is Jeric Yurkanin. This is the Hail Mary Show. I'm in my backyard on this beautiful summer afternoon, early evening. Um, who doesn't love outside? Um, who doesn't love football? I love the punking. I love pumpkin ice cream. I have my pumpkin um, coffee. I have the pumpkin creamer in it. Um, and what's even better, I love the colorful leaves in the northeastern Pennsylvania when October rolls around. And I love football. That makes it even better. So we're into week 5 right now. Heading into week 5, who could believe it? The season flew by. I can't believe it already halfway through the season. And we have several great matchups this coming weekend. We'll be at the Montrose Riverside game on Thursday. And then Friday, I'll be at the Valley View and Honesdale game. So we have a couple good matchups, but let's get to our top 7 countdown and bring on Sara, Renée.
Sports Podcast. My name is Sara Renée X, here to give Welcome to the Hail Mary Show from Agape Freedom Sports Podcast. My name is Sara Renée X, here to give you the top 7 countdown for this week's Lackawanna Football Conference. Coming in at number 7, we've got Lackawanna Trail. Number 6, Valley View. Number 5, Scranton. Number 4, Riverside. Number 3, Scranton Prep. Number 2, Mid-Valley. And at number 1, we've got Western Wayne. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I'm going to hand you guys on over to Jeric.
There's a top 7 countdown. Nothing changed from last week. Everyone in the top 7 countdown won their games. So it stays the same, that's not a bad thing, right? If people keep winning, teams keep winning, and our top 7 countdown, it's a good thing, right? So let's go over the game previews for this upcoming weekend. First game is Thursday. You have Montrose going to Riverside. This game's going to be pretty much a blowout, I believe. I picked Riverside to win 56-6 over Montrose. Riverside by 50. Now, next game is going to be a good game. We have the Scranton Prep Cavaliers playing the Scranton Knights. The Scranton Knights is 4-0. Scranton Prep Cavaliers is 3-1. Scranton Prep's only last game against a team from out of state. But they did beat a team from out of state as well. So, good for them. Scranton Prep is coming off a big win over Delaware Valley last week. Scranton is coming off a win over the rival, West Scranton. The Knights shut out West Scranton last week, 21-0. The game was much better than it shows. West Scranton played tough defense for a little while. Scranton played tough defense for a little while, but Scranton was able to get on the board 3 times, scored 3 touchdowns. So I was at that game. And but this is going to be a tough matchup for Scranton. It's going to be a tough game. On defense, the Knights' defense has only given up 6.5 points per game this season. And on average, they're giving up about 171 yards per game. Not too shabby. The Knights have played tough defense, and they're doing pretty well. They're 4-0, but the Knights have not played a team like Scranton Prep yet. Scranton Prep is very good. They have 2 or 3 very good running backs, guys that can run the ball. Will McPartland. Then they have Trevon Dickey, who could run the ball as well, and Trevon and Will could go run out for passes as well. When they're not in the backfield, Scranton Prep, sometimes they use Will McPartland as a quarterback. And Will has a strong arm, and he has a very quick release. And I've seen him throw the ball, and he throws it hard. He can throw it quick downfield, 10 yards, with a quick release. So they have several weapons, Scranton Prep. They throw different looks at you. Again, Scranton has never played against a team like this. But Delaware Valley plays Scranton Prep tough, so who knows what's going to happen here, right? But now, what does Scranton Prep numbers look like? Well, Scranton Prep is averaging about 356 yards per game, and that's a lot, right? 356 yards per game. They do it with passing the ball. They do it with running the ball. They have games where Lewis Parrish threw over 100 yards passing, and week 1 against Valley View, Lewis Parrish, the quarterback, ran over 100 yards. Now, what does Scranton's offense look like? Well, Scranton's averaging around 26 points per game. I mean, Scranton has a good quarterback, Brody Coyle, who could pass the ball, and he could run as well. So Scranton ain't going to be out of this game, as we think. I think they're going to play Scranton Prep tough, but I think Scranton Prep's going to be too much for Scranton. Now, for Scranton Prep, Drevon Dickey on this season has 215 yards rushing, and Wilmer Parkland has 384 yards rushing on 56 carries, and that's about 8 yards per carry. So those are Scranton Prep's weapons when it comes to the running game. So, I mean, Scranton Prep has weapons all over. Guys could catch, run. But I think it's going to be a good game, maybe in the first half. But I think come the second half, I think the Scranton Prep Cavaliers are going to pull it away. And I pick Scranton Prep to win this game, 34-20. So Scranton Prep by 14. Our next game is Wallenpaupack and Delaware Valley. Delaware Valley lost last week with Scranton Prep. They're very good. They're a good team. Wallenpaupack is coming off with 2 big wins over the past 2 weeks. They beat a good Hohenstiel team, which they were their underdog, and I was at that game, and their defense is tough and physical. And they were able to pull off the win against North Pocono last week. I mean, when they played Honesdale, I picked Honesdale to win. When they played North Pocono, I picked North Pocono to win. I mean, yeah. Wallenpaupack's been tough to predict. They're unpredictable, right? But I think it's that solid defense they have that's really tricking people. I do not think Delaware Valley's going to have an easy game against Wallenpaupack. I think it's going to be a defensive struggle back and forth. I think Delaware Valley's going to have to work hard if they're going to get a win here. It's not going to be an easy win. And we don't know if Wallenpaupack's tough defense is going to show up. And they're a good team. Delaware Valley is coming back. I hope I don't get this one wrong, but I'm going to have to go with Delaware Valley on this one. I mean, I picked Delaware Valley to win 20-14. Delaware Valley by 6. So, yeah, I think Delaware Valley is going to win this game. Our next matchup is Abington Heights at North Pocono. Both teams lost last week. Abington lost to a very good Valley View team, and North Pocono lost to a good Wallenpaupack team. Abington's offense is averaging around 24 points per game and about 158 yards per game. That's not too good. They can run and pass the ball, both averaging over 100 yards per game. Something's not right. Let me look at the stats here. I might have got some stats messed up here. I'm not sure. But Abington Heights, Abington's quarterback Nick Bradley can run and pass the ball. Nick has 182 yards rushing on the season and 473 yards passing on the season. Expect him to have a big game. Though Pocono's defense is giving up only 12 points per game, and the defense is giving up only on average 88 yards rushing per game and 79 yards passing per game. So no, Pocono has a solid defense. This should be another good game. I expect Abington stud Nick Bradley to carry Abington to the victory. So I pick Abington to win this game 24-20 by 4. So Abington to win by 4. Our next game is Wilkes-Barre area in West Scranton. I think Wilkes-Barre area is going to win this game 34-28 by 6. We got Honesdale and Valley View next. This should be another good game. Honesdale at Valley View. Valley View is going to be home. I think it's going to be in range for Valley View to be home, playing against a good Honesdale team. Valley View had a big win over Abington Heights last week. Their defense came up big and had a big defensive stand around the 3-minute mark in regulation around the red zone. Now, we could expect the Cougar defense to come up big again in this game. Now, the Valley View Cougar defense is giving up about 19 points per game. That's not too good, but they've been winning their games as well. So far, their only loss was in week 1 against a good Scranton Prep game. The Valley View defense has struggled to stop the run. They're giving up around 192 yards per game. But the Valley View defense has done well against the pass, giving up around 84 yards per game. The Honesdale Hornets has averaged around 24 points per game, and defense is giving up around 17 points per game. Honesdale's running back, Mason Avery, has 425 yards rushing on the season with 41 carries. In the past 2 weeks, he's been contained and held where he only has 90 yards rushing, facing 2 very good defenses. Like against Wampaupack and then Mid-Valley last week. And Valley View has a very good defense as well. But Valley View has given up some yards on the running game. So the Valley View Cougars defense might be tested in this one. But with that said, I'm going to pick Valley View to win this one. I think Valley View is going to win 21-13 by 8. So Valley View Cougars got this one, and they're going to win by 8. 21-13 is my pick. Now the Western Wayne Wildcats versus Old Forge. I didn't do a game preview on this one. Western Wayne has a big offensive defensive line, a very good running back, and Western Wayne could also pass the ball well. Western Wayne is 4-0. Western Wayne won week 1, 42-14 over Susquehanna. They beat and slaughtered Lackawanna Trail 28-7 in week 2. In week 3, they won 34-23 over a very good Wyoming area team. And Western Wayne beat Crestwood 21-0. So Western Wayne, they're a good team, very good running back, and they have a good wide receiver. Sean Owens has 201 yards receiving yards, and he has 2 touchdowns. They have a good running back, and I just caught this now. Josh Vinton, he's actually the second leading rusher, I believe, in the Lackawanna Conference right now. He had 89 rushing attempts for 580 yards, so they have a very good running back. Western Wayne could pass the ball as well. Josh Pyatt has 297 yards passing. So, I mean, this Western team is for real, and they're very good. Old Forge, they could play solid defense and offense, but it's not the same Old Forge team, I do not think, as it was in the past. I think it's going to be tough for Old Forge to beat Western Wayne. I won't be surprised if Western Wayne wins most of their games. Like, looking at their schedule, what do they have on schedule? Looking at Western Wayne's schedule, I mean, Mid Valley is going to be a challenge to them. I think that's the only team. Western Wayne has Old Forge. Homes there, they're going to beat. West Scranton, they're going to beat. Lakeland, they're going to beat. And Dunmore, they're probably going to beat. So Western Wayne has a chance to go 9-0, if not 10-0. So I'm going to be going with Western Wayne with this game. Western Wayne 35, Old Forge 20. Western Wayne will win by 15 points. So our next game preview is the Mid Valley Spartans versus Lackawanna Chair Lions. Mid Valley is coming off a win over Honesdale. Lackawanna Chair is coming off a win over Dunmore, 35-7. This should be a good game. Another battle. Mid Valley has a very solid defense, and they have a very good running back, Jacob Lusher. And Mid Valley could pass the ball, which last week kind of used at over 100 yards receiving last week. And Brett Yanoski put the ball up as last week for 219 yards. So we just learned that the Mid-Valley Spartans now could pass the ball very well. So they could run the ball and they could pass when it's needed. So Mid-Valley is a very good team. Now, about the numbers, the Mid-Valley defense has been solid all year. Mid-Valley's defense is only giving up 39 points this year. So that's about 9 points per game they have given up. Lackawanna Trail defense has been pretty solid as well. They have only given up 42 points this year. That's about 10 points per game. Two very good defensive teams. I mean, and you look at Trail, they gave up, I think it was like 28 points just in one game. And it was Western Wayne when they beat Lackawanna Trail 28-7. Mid-Valley's running back, Jacob Lusher, has 761 yards rushing on 89 carries. He's hard to stop. Lackawanna Trail has a good running back as well. They have a good running attack. They have a two main workhorse versus Demetrius Douglas. He has about 328 yards rushing on the season. Then running back Isaac Ryan has about 382 yards rushing on the season. They both could run hard, find holes quick, and run through them. That playbook they use in offense is hard to stop. But I think Mid-Valley Bobby is the favorite in this game. With Mid-Valley's very good running attack, and Lackawanna Trail has a very good running game as well. I don't think it'll be good enough for Lackawanna Trail to beat a very good Mid-Valley defense and team. And as we just said, Mid-Valley could pass the ball very well as well. As the quarterback, Brett Inoski, last week had 200 yards passing against a good Honesdale team. Well, I'm picking Mid-Valley to win this one. 27-15, Mid-Valley by 12. The next game is Carpenter versus Dunmore. I'm excited about this game. I think Carpenter has a chance to beat Dunmore. Carpenter is coming off a 28-0 win over a decent Holy Cross team. In week 1, Carpenter lost to Lakeland 40-18. Week 2, Carpenter area shut out Nanticoke 26-0. In week 3, Carpenter area beat Holy Redeemer 45-7. Carpenter beat a pretty decent Holy Cross team 28-0. I did not expect that to happen. So the Carpenter Chargers might be turning around their program. And Dunmore is coming off a loss to Lackawanna Trail. Now, the Dunmore defense has struggled to stop the run. They have given up around 830 yards so far this year, their defense. So that's not pretty good. And the Dunmore defense is giving up around 200 yards per game. On their run game defense. And Carpenter's bread and butter is running the ball. They're very good at running the ball. They're averaging around 223 yards per game rushing the ball. Carpenter has a good run game, as I just said. Their defense has been solid as well. Carpenter has only giving up 388 yards this season. That's averaging around 97 yards per game. And they have 2 shutouts this year. As I just said, once against Nanticoke, another against Holy Cross last week. Carpenter could be turning things around for their program. Based on stats, things ain't looking too good for the Dunmore Bucks in this game. It's been a long time since Carpenter beat Dunmore in football. The last time Carbondale area Chargers has beat Dunmore football team was in 2005. And in Carbondale has never beat Dunmore at Buck Stadium. So this is a big game. I am pumped for this game. I'm excited for this game. And I'm excited for the Carbondale area Chargers football program. I'm picking the Carbondale Chargers to beat the Dunmore Bucks. And it will be the first time since 2005 they beat Dunmore. And the first time ever they ever beat Dunmore at their home stadium. So this is very exciting. So Carbondale is going to win this game 27-20 by 7. The next game we got is Lakeland versus Susquehanna. This is another game I'm very excited about. I'm very excited about this game. I'm pumped. Susquehanna is trying to build their football program back like it used to be in the 1990s. Slowly. They're able to get some guys from Blue Ridge, and on their freshman team, Susquehanna has 20 Blue Ridge guys. So I'm excited for that program. And I'm excited for their head coach, Moses Perry. In week 1, Susquehanna lost to a very good Western Wayne team, 42-14, which is expected. Western Wayne is one of the top teams in the area this year. Susquehanna beat Montrose 42-6 in week 2. Week 3, they basically upset Dunmore 25-21. It was a great win. And then last week, Susquehanna won 40-14 over Holy Redeemer. Susquehanna is 3-1. Susquehanna is averaging around 30 points per game. And they're averaging around 224 yards rushing per game. And they're averaging around 318 yards per game total. Their defense is giving up 20 points per game. That's not too good, but they're coming by and they're getting their wins, right? Their defense is giving up around 114 yards rushing per game and around 78 yards passing per game. Now the Chiefs is averaging only 20 points per game, and the Chiefs is giving up around 29 points per game. The Chiefs defense has struggled to stop the run game, giving up around 187 yards per game. And the run game is Susquehanna Sabres' strength. They could run the ball. They're very good at running the ball. They have running back William Marcy, who's rushing around 333 yards this year, who has rushed around 333 yards this year. The good quarterback, very good quarterback, is only a sophomore, and he's going to be coming on a podcast on Sunday, and we're very excited, along with hopefully 2 or 3 of other Susquehanna Sabres football players. Quarterback Weston Ione has given up. Has 440 yards rushing. Let me correct that. Susquehanna quarterback Weston Ione has 440 yards rushing, and he has 318 yards passing. He's basically a workhorse for the Susquehanna Sabre team. I expect him to have a very good game against that young Lakeland Chiefs defense. The Chiefs quarterback, David Anwitz, has 416 yards passing so far this season. We knew Lakeland was going to be struggling this year. We knew they were a young team. They're still in the process of, we like to say, reloading, but they're not reloading this year. They're rebuilding. I think next year will be the Lakeland Chiefs' year. I do not think, as I said from the beginning, it would be this year. But they're young, and whatever they do this year, they only get better for next year because they have a lot of players returning. Lakeland beat Carpenter in week 1, 40-18. In week 2, they beat Holy Cross 21-3. In week 3, they got killed by Riverside 41-13 at home. And then week 4 last week, they got slaughtered by Wyoming area 56-6, which I expected it. Caden Kuzo has 243 yards rushing for the Chiefs and 44 attempts. Chase Rosenkrantz has 232 yards receiving on 19 receptions and 4 touchdowns. David Anwitz, as I said, has 416 yards passing. I'm going with Susquehanna for this game. I think Susquehanna is going to win this game, and they're going to go 4-1. I picked Susquehanna to win 27-21 by 6 points. And I'm just going to throw this out there. I picked them by 6, but I won't be surprised if they won by 10 or more. So, yeah, we got a couple, teams that are going to beat a team that they haven't beat in a while. Susquehanna has struggled to beat Lakeland, and Carpenter has struggled throughout the years to beat Dunmore. And this week, we might see both teams, Carpenter and Susquehanna, got these big wins. And it's going to be very exciting to see Carpenter area and Susquehanna get these big wins. Again, we're going to be at the, which I will be, Thursday at the Riverside and Montrose game. And then I'll be at the Valley View and Honesdale game, which is in Peckville. So be ready for another exciting weekend of football. And tune in Sunday at 7:45 for our All Saints show. We're gonna have a couple of Susquehanna Sabres football players on there. We're gonna be interviewing. We're very excited about that. And my co-host will be with me, Stephanie. But let's go over the top 7 countdown again as of this week.
Welcome to the Hail Mary Show from Agape Freedom Sports Podcast. My name is Sara Renée X, here to give you the top 7 countdown for this week's Lackawanna Football Conference. Coming in at number 7, we've got Lackawanna Trail. Number 6, Valley View. Number 5, Scranton. Number 4, Riverside. Number 3, Scranton Prep. Number 2, Mid-Valley. And at number 1, we've got Western Wayne. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I'm going to hand you guys on over to Jeric.
So there you have it. This week somebody's going to be possibly getting out of the countdown. If you have Lackawanna Chair or Mid-Valley has not lost. If Lackawanna Chair loses this week, they're going to be moving out of a top 7 countdown. So some things might get shaken up next week. My name is Jeric Yurkanin. This is the Hail Mary Show. If you like our content and our podcast, please subscribe. As we're a new podcast, we started back in July and August, so we're still trying to rub off our rough edges. It takes time to learn and try new things, and it takes time just to talk on a podcast and be comfortable talking and sharing things if someone hasn't done it much. So this is all volunteer work right now. So we're hoping in the future we'll have some sponsors and go further with that. But right now we're all just volunteering, and because of the love of the game and love of sports, and we're trying to shake off our rough edges and get better. So, please subscribe on the YouTube channel, and have a good weekend. And make sure you join us Sunday night at 7:45. We're gonna have the Susquehanna Sabres football players on there. We're gonna try to have a few on there. We have Western Ione coming on. So definitely tune in then, and have a good night.